And my next trick, impossible. At the annual convention of the International Brotherhood of Magicians, British Ring, held at Southport, the 900 magic men in attendance saw the trophy awarded for the most original British magician to go to Mr. Ted Carter of Trowbridge in Wiltshire. And in meeting him, John Braddock produced a microphone from absolutely nowhere.
Mr. Carter, what kind of people are magicians?
Well, I found them as a very jolly crowd, very friendly, and I've never met one yet that I've found any fault with. Really a good crowd.
You've been at it on and off all your life. What kind of magic do you like best?
I myself prefer magic that is more of a mechanical kind. You know, the sort where you have to use apparatus and not so much using the dexterity of the hands and fingers.
It was for this kind of magic that you won your award at Southport, is it?
Yes, it was some of the ideas of my own which I invented. I entered 3 of my own magic inventions and one of someone else's which I had, with their permission, altered.
How do you develop your own magic tricks?
Well, it's very difficult to say. You think of an idea and then you set to work to try to make this idea and think how it can be done, and during the process you very often come up against a lot of snags. That means in the finish very often you finish up with a trick altogether different you started, but very often a very satisfactory one.
Well, it seems you've got 2 kind of things to think about. One is what you're going to do, and the other is what you want the public to think you're doing. How do you deal with this sort of situation?
Well, that's a matter of misdirection. I'm afraid magicians have to misdirect the public, and it's not an easy thing to do, and it is really in itself an art.
What kind of materials, what kind of constructions do you make for your magic?
I use all sorts of things. Some of them are made wood. You see, I have a lathe and I have a fret saw, a motor fret saw, and plenty of tools. And if I think of any idea which I want to make, I just get out in the shed and away with the tools, and very often turn out wood, cardboard, plywood, plastic materials to cover instead of paint, which I think is a lot better.
How many unsuccessful attempts do you make before you get a trick really going to your satisfaction?
Well, not many actually. My beer box, which is a very great favourite with the magicians, I did make one, and the only fault with that in the finish was the fact that I couldn't open the box and show the empty box to the audience, and that one I sold, and I started on another which in the finish, after a lot of thought, I could manage to open the box and show it absolutely empty.
Obviously you can fool an ordinary audience, but you had an audience of specialists. How did they react to the trick?
Well, I talked to quite a few afterwards, and most of them said they were absolutely mystified. The anti-gravity glasses which I did was an absolute change from the old style, and they were absolutely mystified. And the beer box, as everyone has told me, just baffles them.